Fuck that house now. I'm back. To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it.
Yo! I don't care if you're still working season. It looks like playoff game. Yeah!
That's the type of dogs we needed, goddamn.
Yeah! Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
You were down bad, now we back up. We back up, baby.
Down bad. Are you talking about the 8 games ago that we
were 8 games ago? They said we weren't. We were blowing it up. They said we were blowing it up. It's over. It was a Nets down bad. Everything's going wrong. But we back. Now we back. I'm with Saint. I'm with Chubbs. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit us on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You know we on all platforms. Let me shout out the chat. Yeah, big win. Big win. Let's carry on. Yes, Jared Williams was good. Random. Hey, Lou Bucks. Hey, Fabian. Hey, Fabian. Quest 1 was good. Quest 1. Jared Williams. Yo. Anthony Paris. Hey, Anthony Paris. Cypher. Hey, all my mods. Brian Lane. Roshi. Hey, Roshi. What else in here? Blade. Hey, Blade. What's good? Plays for keeps. Hey, what's good? Yeah, Khalid. Hey, what's up? Yeah, man. Another. Keep the win streak alive. Keep the win streak alive. Yeah, we'll take this win. Now. We finally saw the lineup because this lineup has been long awaited of the Joe Harris, Ben Simmons, the big three, Joe Harris and Clax. We've long awaited this lineup, and we finally got to see it tonight. Now in the first quarter, it was 29-25. Katie had 13 points, 5 rebounds. Kyrie had 7. Nick Claxton got into foul trouble early in that first quarter. He had 3 fouls in like the first 5 minutes. So we didn't really get to see the lineup at first because Claxton got in foul trouble, and I think he sent Joe Harris to the bench. I think who was the first one off the bench tonight? Was it TJ or Cam? One of the two.
I mean, off the bench first.
I think it was TJ. I think it might have been no, it wasn't. I think it was Cam tonight. Who was the first one off? Oh no, I'm sorry, Markeith. We saw Markeith. Markeith was the first one off the bench tonight.
Yeah, I really thought what's his name was going to come in, but I was surprised.
Yeah, Markeith Morris was the first one off the bench. Because when Claxton got into foul trouble, we saw Jacques Vaughn go small, and Markeith was the first one off the bench. But the second quarter, so we were up 29-25 first quarter. Second quarter, that's where the game kind of changed. We saw Kyrie Irving go off in that second quarter. He just went insane. I think he scored 13 in the second quarter. He gave us a great boost. Like, it was just insane. The shots he was making, crossing over Dotson, getting to the rim, his shot was falling. By the end of the half, he had 20 points and Katie had 18 and 7. Mind you, Katie's going off too, but the moves that Kyrie's doing, it just, it had you just glued to the TV screen. How'd you feel about Kyrie saying in that second quarter?
I loved what Kyrie did all game, pretty much. I think that first half, it was pretty much the Kyrie show. More Kyrie. There really wasn't that many plays being run for anybody else. Like, defense was that first half was just everybody was out of sorts in that first half. It seemed like some people were a bit rusty. Seemed like we got away for some running some plays. Even defense was kind of suspect. But we were still winning. I mean, obviously, Kyrie, you could tell early on. Within the first 5 to 6 minutes, I could just tell Kyrie was, he was in. I don't know if he because they got in the second half, they got into a better team ball as far as defense and offense, and other players stepped up like Joe Harris, Ben Simmons got in double-double, TJ Warren. I mean, Claxton, I think he would have been in double figures probably if he didn't get the early foul trouble. Outside of that, you had Sumner at 4, Cam at 5. Everybody else had 2 or 3. It was kind of but they all did their part in the second half, right? We just needed somebody else to step up. But I mean,
so Sam was saying in that first half, Kyrie and Katie combined for 38 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, Kyrie had 20 and KD had 18 and 7 at the half. Now, like Shane was saying, in that third quarter, that's where we saw more of the ball movement. We actually get to saw the lineup of the big three, Joe Harris and Clax. Again, the ball movement was so pretty. Ben was playmaking. I think Kyrie kind of in that second quarter, you saw him go ISO, but the third quarter, he kind of played in with the system and started facilitating a little bit. Not looking for his own shot, but getting everybody involved. You know, we would see Joe Harris hit a couple shots. KD was hitting shots. Kyrie was hitting shots. Ben was getting to the rim. He had that. Kyrie had that nice no look pass to Ben.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
that
so
was
that blew the game
open.
Open. Yeah, I clipped that.
Oh, you clipped that? Yeah, that
shit
was nice.
That third quarter blew the game open because like we got to see the full when the ball was popping. That's where the Nets are at their best, and in that third quarter, it was just kind of blew the game. I think we were up 15 or 16 by the end of that third quarter. It was 94-83 by the end of that third quarter. Then after that, it was just smooth sailings in the fourth. We saw Nick Claxton gave us great defensive minutes late in that second quarter, and then early in the fourth quarter, even with 3 fouls in that fourth quarter, he gave us great minutes early on to just continue the lead because KD was on the bench in the fourth quarter. And then again, it was just smooth sailing for that fourth quarter. We just took control of the game, and great W. Chubbs, you want to get in there about this takeaway?
Yeah, no, like for what it's worth, this was like one of the rare times we were in control from a majority of the game. Like even in the second quarter when they went on their run, they went up by like 4 at most, 4 or 5 at most, and we got it right back damn near before halftime. So there's positives because at halftime we literally were like a different team at that second half. Like that was just beautiful basketball the entire second half of basketball. And if we play like that, we're gonna win a lot. We're gonna be very tough to beat, in my opinion. But there's really nothing else. That was just beautiful basketball in that second half.
Yeah,
like
that second half, it was great.
Yeah, JV noticed. Okay, you know what? Let's pivot away from the ISO and let's actually try to run a system.
Yeah,
and then the system was worked to perfection so damn well. KD played 33 minutes tonight.
Yeah, so happy to see KD get some rest tonight too.
He was able to get rest.
Yeah. I think we're on a 4. Are we on a 4-game win streak? This is the 4-game win streak, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button right now. 4-game win streak again. You know, this is the second time we was on the 4-game. This is another 4-game win streak. So again, this is gonna be an interesting second half of the year, man. When we get into that second half mark, it's gonna be great because, like I said, we went through so many issues, troubles. I mean, we still have some problems, but it's just now the winning. You know how they say winning cures all? You know, I don't know. It's starting to cure a little bit of faith. Starting to cure a little bit of faith, man.
I mean, AJ, outside of the Celtics game and the Kings game, how many times have we genuinely been beaten off the floor?
Yeah.
Like most games, outside of those 2 games, we've taken care of business, won ugly, or just outright beat the shit out of our opponent.
And like that Celtics game was close too. It was not even like we got blown out. It was like that Celtics game was like one of those grind out games.
Yeah,
but that game actually, the Celtics game, to Chubbs' point, let me piggyback off what you're saying, Chubbs, is that even that Celtics game, it wasn't like, what did we wind up losing that by? Because I don't think it was like we got
7.
Yeah, it wasn't destroyed. It was like, again, it was one of those things like, imagine if we were full strength, like granted they're missing players too, you know, that would have changed, but it was like, yeah, the Philly game is what we got smoked the most. But the one thing that, like what Chubb said, because he actually said exactly what I was saying earlier on Spaces before I got on here, was that like we led from beginning to end, right? It got close. It got single digits a little bit. Like the first half, obviously, it was kind of, we led, but it, you know, they got a lot closer. It was kind of back and forth, touch and go for a while. But the great thing is that what I've noticed now is that when KD and Kyrie are taking turns sitting out, the role players that we have now, and especially when they concentrate on defense, like I'm not as concerned about us giving up the lead like in the last couple seasons. Like you just knew it. Like once certain players went out, you're like, oh shit, here we go. And I don't get that vibe with this team. Having TJ Warren, like you can tell he's figuring it out, like getting his legs back under. Like if he keeps progressing and getting back up to strength, like, I mean, my God, it's going to be great. Like even the emergence of Sumner's been playing better defense. It's nice to kind of have that feeling for once that this team, we have like a lot better role players around these starters. What up, my holy? What up, man? But I agree with you, Chubbs. It's a nice feeling to actually have that opposed to being like, oh shit, here comes the third quarter.
Right. But to piggyback off real quick, and we're not saying, oh, we're back on, we're championship bound, but it's we're doing habits of beating the teams we're supposed to beat and competing against teams we're supposed to compete against. And we're kind of seeing more positives than negatives.
All right. So are you saying, and AJ, I'll ask you this too. Are you saying, I mean, it's like basically we're seeing what we've been wanting to see in those previous seasons where Steve Nash just kept experimenting. It seems like Jacque Vaughn a little bit more knows who he wants to go to. Yeah. And it seems like this team is like they're playing the right guys, and you're starting to see a little bit better of continuity. Like these guys are knowing what to expect from it. Like this team is gelling quicker to me than the last two seasons. Granted, there was a lot of reasons why that may have happened. I'm just noticing a lot better communication, effort, and gelling with this squad than the previous two seasons. Like, I mean,
oh yeah, I agree. I see the consistency is starting to build because Jacque Vaughn, like, he keeps the rotations at a consistent basis. Like certain times when KD comes in, he always does the same time when KD comes in the fourth. Usually he keeps things on a beat. And then now that we're starting to play well together, I mean, we're getting time together, like Ben Simmons and Kyrie. You see the two-man game, I think it was in the third quarter, Ben Simmons and Kyrie with this two-man game they had. It's like they've been playing together for years now. Like the way they were just moving off the ball with each other, knowing where they're going to be. It's like you can see it.
And it's funny you say that with that two-man game. We rarely see a two-man game with any of our stars in this past couple of years, including Harden. Like we rarely saw a two-man with KD or Kyrie.
Yeah.
Like now, these past couple of games, we're seeing little spurts of two-man with KD and Kyrie. Just now, tonight, we saw a two-man game with Ben and Kyrie, and it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's really, can we strengthen our good habits? Like focus on what we have done positively in these stretch and try to work to just find that rhythm that when everything clicks, we look fucking scary.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like we're progressing towards.
Let me read the super chat. Elijah Hall, thank you for the super chat. He said, we just won by double digits with shooting less than 30% from three. Imagine last year we would have lost. Yeah, the fact we didn't even shoot that well from three tonight. And I think we got out rebounded too. We might have gotten out rebounded, and we still. The only thing we did better than the Wizards, right? I guess according to the stat book, is the turnovers. We only had 13. They had 20. We had more fast break points than them, and we had more points in the paint than them. So
I will say the fact that they didn't have a huge inside presence is probably also
after
like
KP
that
left.
First half, like that first half could have been, I think, a lot uglier than it was if you think about it, right? Because our defense was like just like the last game when all the role players played, like that last game, it was like nobody was guarding the 3-point line. And we almost got into that today. And I saw, shout out to JV, because you almost saw that happen again, where it was just like, how the hell is somebody just standing there wide open with nobody on him? Like that.
It's like us watching at home from we watching at home. We're like, how's he wide open? And then as soon as we say that, it's like he called a timeout. He's like,
exactly.
Doing? Like,
I almost got nervous that we were, because that last game, bro, against the Pacers, I remember I'm like, okay, we're just not guarding the three this game. Like we're just not. Like, so it was that, and thank God these guys weren't as they don't have a huge inside presence, even though you have KP, but he's still not like.
Oh no, he's not no inside presence.
No, he's not. Like, could he get inside if he's got height on you? Yeah, and he can just go over the top of you, but it could have gotten ugly.
That's why he's like, because he was
could have
killing
gotten
us.
ugly, but thank God, like that second half we buckled down. So
yeah. If you're joining us right now, we just beat the Wizards 112-100. Brooklyn's now 17-12 on a 4-game win streak. Let me read some comments real quick.
2 games out of the third seed too. Shout out to the fucking
2 games out the third seed. Ooh.
Cavs is 17-10. So
shout out to Mello. He said trash media now that we're winning, and then no drama. They're quiet. Yep.
facts.
They're not gonna talk about the Nets when we're winning. They're not.
No, they're not going to talk like. But let's be honest, though, they're not. I have a feeling because of the history that we've had and the way the season started.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that they're not going to talk about us until
Some drama hits.
till like say we continue to play better, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have any nothing comes out of nowhere, and we continue to win, and we actually. How's this? That stretch where we have what is it? Warriors, Bucks, and Cavs.
Yeah.
If we
That's a
win a
tough
couple of those games, I think they'll start talking about us.
Yeah.
you know what it is?
Like in a positive way, because if we lose 1, 2, or 3 of those games,
Those nationally
They're gonna
televised
say,
games where
you know,
everythll watching, those are the games they
exactly,
probably will
yeah.
talk. They have to talk because it's a big
Yeah.
matchup. It's national. You know.
But I think it's more so. I think everybody's at the stage. It's just I think everybody's at the stage of put your money where your mouth is. I feel like. So I feel like they feel like like anybody can go on a streak. We've seen you guys go on an 8-game streak with Kyrie and Harden just to fall short. So I feel like that's the mentality the media is at right now. So honestly, that 3-game stretch is very important. If we win 2 out of 3, that would be fucking amazing.
Quick stats. Katie had 30 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Joe Harris had 11. He was 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. Nick had 9 and 7 rebounds. Kyrie had 24, 6 rebounds, and Ben Simmons 10 with 8 rebounds. So almost 5 guys in double. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 guys in double. Oh, TJ Warren 12 points off the bench. Shout out TJ Warren. Now as you see that the Nets getting guys healthy, it's like we can and JV went 11 deep tonight. So we're starting to see the Nets depth come into place here because we got so many guys coming back. Yuta came back, Ben's coming back. But we'll talk about Ben tonight. How do you guys feel about Ben Simmons tonight? 10 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 5 for 9 from the field.
I mean, did you guys get the feeling like he was kind of like a little rusty tonight? And even at one point, I kind of thought it was funny. Kyrie was like bringing up that like it seemed like it doesn't seem like he
Gone to rhythm.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he got into rhythm, but it also doesn't seem like he really ran the offense tonight. Am I wrong by that? Because there was like a couple times where like Kyrie was setting up Ben, and I don't know if that's like something new that they're trying with the coach, like with as Ben is getting better and more healthier and like being able to take lobs. Like 2 things. One, I saw Kyrie bring up the ball a couple times, but the one time in particular, you saw him bring the ball up and Ben was running up, like just kind of looking at him with his hands ready, like thinking he was going to get it. And Kyrie waved him off and said, go around. And then you also saw him setting up Ben getting a couple setups at the rim. Yeah. So I don't know if that was something that they were trying or what, but like it seemed like he was a little rusty though too, bro. He's had a knee problem. And what was the other thing he had? I mean, obviously that we haven't really heard anything about the back. Yeah, but he had like his knee issue, his hamstring. So I don't know. I wasn't disappointed. I just think he was trying to get back in the swing of things, quite honestly. I mean, yeah, he had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, like 5 for 9, 23. Like that's
I like that. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I mean, that's that's not terrible.
Yeah. I think like you said earlier, I loved how Ben looked early on. He was aggressive. He was looking to score. In transition, he was getting in transition, and then I saw a couple of defensive stops on Porzingis. So Ben looked like Ben early on. Then in the second half, I think the second half he was kind of just focusing on getting KD, Kyrie, everybody's shots. So it wasn't like because our offense is like we don't really run a set offense. It's more of like we kind of let KD and Kyrie create, and then we kind of let the ball move a couple possessions and screen for them and kind of play off them. It's like we play off.
Yeah,
KD
but
and
they
Kyrie's
can't get
ice.
away from. They got to get other players involved. Like
Yeah.
today, that was the one thing I noticed. Like you got to get, as long as you have Joe on your team, you've got to get him.
Yeah,
You gotta
we
set
don't.
plays
That's the
up.
thing. We
We're
don't
not
run
getting these
plays
guys
for
plays
Joe or
for-
Seth. We
Yeah.
don't run plays for them to come off screens and get an open three. Like we don't do that for Joe.
You
and
should
Seth.
even start doing it for what's his name?
Yuta,
No, not Yuta. Well, yeah, you could do Yuta, but
TJ Warren?
TJ Warren, like mid-range TJ Warren could be a butter, like just be beautiful. Like that's one thing I like how the Bucks do too. Though sometimes is like they'll set their other guys up for like these mid-range, off-screen something, whatever.
Yeah.
I wish we would do more of that because I do believe people like TJ, and even like remember when we had LaMarcus, like they would do that little mid-range game with him. Like I need them to start doing that instead of just fully relying on Katie and Kyrie.
Shout out to Francis. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's a freelance. It's more of a freelance offense. A freelance offense. That's what we.
I don't mind that freelance offense when it's working.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if we're gonna beat some of these top teams, especially in the playoffs, like you can't just be freelance all the time.
Yeah. The problem with the freelance is sometimes some possessions it looks really like if the team shuts one thing down, it looks really ugly and we commit like a whole bunch of bad turnovers. That's the thing with the freelance offense. You know what I'm saying? Like when it'll be those bad turnovers that will be like, what kind of turnover is this? You know, like Katie gets doubled and we don't know what to do. You know, it's like.
But don't you think the other teams, the good teams, have figured out how to play Katie and Kyrie defensively, especially the Celtics?
Yeah, I think the good team.
That's what makes me nervous about that freelance.
Yeah, like this Wizards team, they didn't have enough to stop
No.
Katie. Like, but the good teams, it's gonna be tougher because they know they got the weapons to bother Katie and Kyrie. Shout out to Lenny. What's good? The media won't talk about the Nets. Yeah, man. They're not gonna talk about us, bro. I mean, like I said, we creeping on the third seed right now. They're not talking about us. They're not talking about us. But with Ben tonight, like I said, I loved how Ben looked, but like Shane said, he's got to get more games under his belt. And tonight, like I said, his stat line looked great. His pace looked great to me, and he looked well moving up and down the course. So, it's only up for Ben right now. You know, it's only up for Ben. But TJ, we got to talk about TJ off the bench. Now with TJ, he had 14 off the bench, 12 off the bench. Like we were saying before, the Nets, since we run a freelance offense, when TJ gets in, sometimes with the second unit, it's like KD and Kyrie, and he kind of sticks to ball watching, and then once he gets the ball, he's like, oh, I'll shoot it, or oh, I'll pass it. You know, it's like we should start running plays to get him open looks or get him in his spots because he's a scorer too. So it's like we don't do that sometimes for TJ, and sometimes he just gotta get his points in the flow of the game, like off a swing, or off a pass in the corner, he'll shoot, or off an offensive rebound, he'll get the rebound and shoot in that mid range. Like he kind of gets his buckets like that instead of like kind of creating most of the time. So we gotta fix that issue with TJ. But I feel like he's still getting his legs under him. So how'd you guys feel about TJ? You can go, Chubbs.
Yeah, no, TJ. Like I said, I don't think he has the potential to be that third guy, or like the third guy to just average 20 out the gate. But
our Jordan Poole, he's supposed to be our Jordan Poole.
No. Yeah, like that's bubble TJ Warren. This ain't bubble TJ Warren. This is normal TJ Warren, who's still a good player. So I feel like every game has been a progression, and that's a good thing. Some games he just honestly, I think he's way ahead of schedule, for being honest. Like he's coming off an injury that sat him out for 2 years.
Yeah.
And so just to get better at this rate, I'm like, it's really only up for TJ. So for what it's worth, damn, he might be averaging damn near 15 and fucking 4 and 5 by the end of December. So it's only up for him,
Yeah. Shout out to Tierra, bro. We might actually get the third seed. Yeah, we're close to the third seed. The Cavs are losing right now. Oh, they're losing to the Spurs? Oh, wow. That's a surprise.
This has been the season of
underman teams beating good teams.
Yeah, everybody's gotten a lot of the bottom teams wrong. Like, I don't think there's maybe a couple people I go, no, that team's actually going to give people problems. But by and large, some of these teams that we expected to be.
That's what I'm saying. It's just how the NBA is. Like, you can get packed up by anybody on the given night.
Right
like,
now, hell yeah.
The Spurs beating, the Spurs beating Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett. Come on. Like, you can't make this up, bro. Every night it's something.
I think Detroit's starting to, like, Detroit was even early on giving people problems, but they've kind of fallen down to earth. But, like, Pacers are starting to do that, but still, like, the Kings, Utah, even the Spurs are kind of like they're still hanging on. But it'll be interesting to see if any of those teams make like legit trades that potentially sink them lower, because you know the tanking is going to start somewhere. Like, one of these teams are going to start tanking.
Oh yeah.
They're going to have
now that because Shams dropped an article today, which was kind of interesting about first of all, it was about the Pistons Bojan Bogdanovic. A lot of teams want him, and now that Cade Cunningham is out for the year with a season-ending, I think it's his shin. He has a season-ending shin surgery, so that is a big loss for Detroit. So Detroit is automatically tank. You know they're tank mode now. It's like you just lost Cade Cunningham for the year.
Like, what else do they have?
So you got to tank. I mean, you might as well. Like,
Jaden Ivey is not that damn good.
He is. So
he's not that damn good.
So people are expecting. I think Bojan going to be out on the trade market. Nerlens, and I think one more guy they have. I mean, they're going to obviously want to keep their young pieces, but they're trying. I think the smart thing to do for them would be tank for Victor. So, the Bojan Bogdanovic market is open. Teams are offering, what for him, and then Shams also talked about John Collins. That the Nets, who was it? The Nets, I think it was the Wolves and somebody else, Suns. A couple teams interested in John Collins, but he said that Atlanta didn't have interest in Joe Harris.
Yeah, but I mean, for the Wolves, John Collins on the Wolves, that don't even fit right.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a couple teams. I think it was John Collins
next to Rudy.
And I think it was the Suns, Wolves, and somebody else.
Okay, Suns, that might be fire.
Yeah, Suns, Wolves, and somebody else.
I don't know about I just don't see how he fits with Gobert there. I just don't. The Suns, that would be a cool. That might be fire, actually. Chris Paul.
Somebody signed Boogie got signed?
By who?
No, he didn't. Did he?
No, man.
I know Milwaukee. Oh, in that article, they said Milwaukee was trying to get Jay Crowder. Like, they were heavy on trying to get Jay Crowder.
It's gonna be, bro. I'm not trying not to be the stinker, but I feel like we gotta lower our expectations, bro. I really do.
Yeah, no, I don't expect everything. So
no, it's not that I expect everything, Chubbs. I think it's the level of player which we're going to get, right? Like, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Joe Harris might be harder to move than we're thinking, right? Because the other day I was sitting there doing a space with people, and we got on the subject of Joe Harris for Collins, and I said, we don't know what's going on with the Hawks, right? We don't know if they're going to try to improve to, kind of save the season. We don't know if they're getting rid of their coach. We don't know if they're going to try to. They're
in a whole bunch of disarray right now. They're in the drama. They're in the Nets drama. You know how we have the drama? They're in the Nets drama.
And my first thought was, do you think – my thought was okay, hey, maybe if Joe Harris – they would probably like Joe Harris as a shooter, but I doubt they're going to want to take that contract on, especially if it seems like they're going to go into a little bit of changing and retooling and try to get rid of some hefty contracts to go a different direction. And I think with John Collins, they're trying to get a team that can take on the contract more than them wanting to take back something of equal value. So when I saw that, and after thinking that, I was like, yeah, that's going to be a tough sell. And it's and then I just really started thinking, it's we've talked at endless times, who's on the trading block, right? Every fan has put anywhere from any of the three sophomores, Cam, Day, Kess, Joe Harris is on that list. Some people have thrown Seth in there. outside of the, and then I heard even people talking about throwing Claxton in there today, and I'm like, unless you're like getting back a knockdown stellar like big man, like I wouldn't even think about that, right? Like I know Jay was talking about Ayton from the Suns, right? Like if I was getting Ayton, that's the only way I would even think about putting Clax in the deal. But it just, I feel like just like in recent years, our expectation level of what I think we're going to really get and acquire is going to be a lot lower than what we think. And it's like, if you're telling me our big money move is Joe Harris, I'm a little nervous that teams really want to pull on his contract.
It's not going to pull you much, but
no, and then it's like, what
his value is he's a shooter, but his value is, like I said, teams are going to think about big picture. Like they're going to think about his age.
Yeah.
They're going to think of how long is he going to be good for,
the contract
Yeah,
the double ankle surgery. And then you saw what Scoop put out, and I don't know if you got him to say anything, AJ, but I tried poking him a little bit, going, what do you got, man? What are you saying? And he
just gave me, you know what Scoop texted me? He's got to do the eyes emoji. Scoop texted me.
Yeah, he went dark after I asked him the same thing. So it's like,
I was like, what do you mean Sean Marks has something? He has something in his sleeve.
Well,
and
I mean,
he just texted me the eyes emoji.
Yeah,
like,
let's be honest. That last game was, if you were interested in any of the young guys,
that's a good game to go to. Yeah,
that was a good game to look at because, like, listen, let's be honest. Like, any of these young guys and role players come in, they're going to be spotty at best. And they're going to need a whole game to cook up to even be effective. And we just don't have that team. That's the reality. Like Cam, Kess, Dayron, like these guys are not going to get full games to really cook up. They're going to have to learn. And I should have saved it, but I don't know if did you guys catch Edmund Sumner during the game? If you watched
that interview. That was a real interview.
Exactly, right? And he talked about what it means to be a role player, what's expected of you, and what his attitude is about being in there and being ready to go, right? And it just like, I heard that and I'm like, that made me so happy, that he is thinking that way because he gets it. As a role player, he gets it. Like he's got to be effective when he's put in and he's going to do anything it takes. That's what I've got to look at these young guys. Are they going to be there?
Yeah, Edmund Sumner, like that might have been one of the realest interviews because they got him in the locker room.
Yeah, I'm low-key mad they cut it early.
Yeah, he was spitting some real talk on there. He's like, well, when KD and Kyrie are in, everybody's gotta know their role. You know, I'm gonna be the defensive guy. I'm gonna play defense and get steals and play in transition. That's gonna be my job. But when they're not there, I'm gonna be aggressive. Everybody gotta play their same with Cam Thomas, same with Dayron. Everybody's gonna know their role. When KD and Kyrie and the big two on the court, you know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? No, you went a little Mr. Robotic, but
okay.
No, but we heard you.
You can read some. I think, is there a super chat or no?
I don't think so. I didn't see one.
No.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Chelsea.
I think I got a question for y'all, and it's with the Joe Harris trade situation. Do y'all genuinely think Joe Harris is just untouchable? Like you wouldn't, like if Atlanta called you up and was like, okay, we'll lower the value, John for Joe. Would you say no? We don't think John's an upgrade over Joe. Will you?
Oh hell yeah, I'd do that in a second. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If they said straight up, well, okay. How about this? Say they didn't include the pick Chubbs, right? Because I think you have to kick in a little bit more to make work. But say they said, we'll take Joe Harris for Collins, and you throw in, I don't know. Let's look at it. What, Patty? Not Seth, but Patty, Kess. Like who? I guess the question is if they were doing it straight up, but you had to add an extra player in there, right? Because I still don't think Patty's going anywhere. So you have to sweeten the deal with somebody else. Who's it going to be? Kess, Cam, Dayron. Like if you add like one of those guys, do they got to add something? I mean, because I would definitely take John Collins over Joe Harris if they're offering that.
To me, I feel like the only way we can get him now is, since I don't think the Hawks. Well, this is according to Shams, they're not really interested in Joe.
That
you
might
have
be
to do
an
a 3-team. Yeah, you have to do a
But
3
they
team.
might be saying, "Oh, add something though, right, AJ?"
Yeah, they could be saying that, or
Yeah.
they might be saying
But-
add something with it, but
But I asked this because 2 points I want to get off. Saint, to your point, I would add the pick regardless because look at it like this.
At first,
John Collins is 25.
Joe in a first.
But
Oof.
John Collins is 26.
Do we have any seconds left we can throw in there?
I don't even know.
I don't know if we have. Hey, anybody in chat
Cypher.
knows?
Let Cypher got you. Got Cypher already.
But do we even want a second? Like,
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if you had some seconds in there, I wouldn't. I don't know. Joe Harrison a first for Collins, like, oof. I mean,
I'm gonna just be realistic. I don't think we're moving off anything with Joe if we don't attach that pick. I'm being brutally honest.
I know. I mean, it depends on the team, though, bro. Let's be honest. It depends on the team.
So who's really gonna be like, yo, I need Joe Harris if the deal comes up, and they're gonna just get him with no other thing to sweeten the deal, just Joe Harris.
I don't think his value is that high. Just Joe alone. No, I don't think no team's gonna do that.
No team's really gonna do that.
No,
Yeah, just Joe Harris by himself.
I think
I
we're
don't know
getting
about
stuck. Okay, how's this? Say they had raised the money, the cap, or whatever. I think we could be having a different conversation. But I also think teams are being careful right now because some of these young teams that are looking to get better, they also don't want to saddle themselves with a lot of money. Like, I think we're at like a very odd, not an odd, but I think we're at a kind of like a bad time to really move off of big contracts.
Yeah.
Like, certain teams seem less reluctant to bring on that extra money is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's just the vibe I get right now.
Shout out to Paul. He said Kyrie looks so focused. Shout out to Cypher. Thank you, Cypher.
Yes.
He
Okay.
said, 3 second-round picks.
Thank you, Cypher. Yeah. See, I would, me personally, I would, if you said Joe for Collins straight up, I would give him, I'd throw a couple of them seconds in there, to be honest.
You those 2 second rounds?
Give him a 22 and a 26. You know what I mean? Like, I'd do that, but
I'd do that deal in a heartbeat, but saying that they're not going to take
I
that.
know, hey, listen, to be honest with you, because of the way our first round picks are, unless you're getting like a knockdown home run trade person back, I'm real reluctant to put in those first, especially after you gave up a first for Royce O'Neal. Like, I'm being a little, and let's be honest, we don't know what this team is going to look like after this year, right? Like, we still, like, we don't even got to talk about it, but we still got to talk. At some point, we're going to have to look at it and go, are they really going to offer Kyrie a contract in the offseason? Like, we really don't know where this team is going after this year, especially how this team gets after the All-Star break, gets closer to the playoffs. Like, we don't know what this team is really going to be next year. We don't know if this is going to be the last season of KD Kyrie or it's going to continue, right? Like, we have no idea.
Yeah, but this is the point I'm trying to make here. And it kind of just goes to your point. John Collins on this team helps us for the future. There's a positive, there's an ascending in our stock if we have Collins for the future. What the fuck?
Yeah, I agree.
What would Joe really be a couple years down the line? Joe is technically now going in his 30s. John Collins is still in his 20s, about to reach his prime years. And he's under contract when we get him. This isn't like an expiring. He's under contract too. So we get him, like, I don't see why not.
Well, let me throw this into the conversation, Chubbs. Like Mordecai just said, we're improving a lot. Why are we considering a trade? Like, listen, Mark, okay, we are improving. We are getting better. But I think if you ask any one of us up here, I can speak for you and say that we still need another big, and you could even make the case that we still need another legit ball handler. Like, we are 1 or 2 trades away from honestly being a contending
championship
team.
Yeah, championship.
Because I don't think, as we currently sit, yes, we're playing, but let's be honest, like, these last 8 wins haven't been against the top teams. They've been against teams that we actually should be beating, right? And here we are about to go on a stretch where we face the Bucks, the Cavs, the Warriors, right? And we're going to get and hopefully everybody's back still, and we'll get a really healthy look at like where we compare to some these other top teams. But I still think like if we just sit still and don't make any trades and just kind of hope the best for the buyout market, like then we're not serious, right? Like, Joe Tsai's winning is my religion bullshit thing that he keeps saying is not true. Like we are at least and I'm not saying we need superstar players, but if you really want to make this offense and defense better, you can make moves that will improve those, because at the end of the day, somebody like some of these younger guys, some of these lower role players are not going to be playing at all in the playoffs. Yeah. So are we just going to run out there and go Seth and Joe and Patty? Like we can't be doing that in the playoffs again. We can't be having dudes that are going to get hunted on defense coming in for significant minutes like during the playoffs. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I still think you have to make I don't know if this is the real Julian or an imposter.
Who is that?
It says Julian. I don't know. Is that our Julian?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
Yeah. All right. I guess you guys got anything else?
Nah.
No.
Oh man, you're making it quick tonight, bro. You got a hot day?
No, that's the trend. That's the trend we want to do.
That's the trend now. In and out.
Yeah, people gotta wake up like 8 in the morning. You feel me? We got classes, work, all that other shit.
All right. I guess I'm on my days off when everybody else is on there, not on there. And then I'm working. Like dude, I already got 80 hours for the whole month, bro. Damn. It's brutal. Yeah, like I'm surprised I'm not sleeping right now.
For the whole month already?
Dude, like, okay, so by December 3rd, I had already been signed up for 10 spots of overtime for the month. Yeah. Like, expect me to be around for all Sunday through Tuesday games.
Yeah. Nah, but I mean, as far as the stream, unless you want me to push Carlos Correa to the Mets propaganda, I got nothing. Don't do
that, man. Don't do that.
Well, no, but somebody says it's true. When we win, it's like boring streams and boring spaces. But when we lose, we got all kinds of fire and like
we got bad topics.
Yeah, we got mad. Like the people viewing is like 300, 400, 500, but it's like it's true. When we win, like nobody either wants to talk or it's just quiet. Yeah, exactly. Cypher. I'm putting in fucking KD and Royce minutes right now, bro. I'm leading Nets Kingdom in minutes played. Yeah.
That's funny. Can't overplay like KD is hilarious.
Hell yeah, dude. Exactly. I'm drained, bro.
Well, I'll let the chat ask any other quick questions, and we'll be out. We'll do a rapid fire, and then we'll be out of here.
It is nice to have a good string of wins, though, bro. I won't lie. It's been nice to not be on the hot seat, bro.
Yeah, to be these couple of games just winning, it's just like, we went from such a place where we had to complain every day and talk about losing and the drama going around the Nets, and now it's just we can just focus on basketball now. It's like, yeah, amazing. I'll put Saint in the chat.
So Cypher is, but I'll ask you guys this. Do you think this is my question to myself. I'm going to @Saint myself. Do you think Sean Marks makes a trade? Because my other thought is Sean Marks is trying to make a trade, but other teams are not biting on what we want for what they want to give. And do you think it's going to be another buyout thing for the Nets this season?
I'll say this, and I think it puts it perfectly. This is a perfect opportunity to Sean Marks to do, honestly, throughout his tenure as a GM, to do what he perfectly does. Find a diamond in the rough. Like, I feel like if anything...
You've been having problems doing that during the season, though.
Yeah, but if anything, I feel like now is a good time to say, you know what, let's look at something that's underrated, under the radar, that honestly, under our system, would be a fucking monster, but in this trade will be pretty much just a salary dump when we get a damn near diamond in the rough. Like, I feel like now's a perfect time for that to happen. Because if not, this roster is extremely flawed. Like, yeah, Yuta, yes, Morris, and Sumner, they have their upsides. We signed somebody, we gotta cut one of them until we guarantee their contract.
Yeah, and that's the other discussion we'll eventually have to have is like, who are we cutting if we're doing something else? Cypher said, would you really risk selling low on Cam? I know he has issues, but the potential if they trade him, there's a good chance they'll regret it. I don't want to sell low on Cam. Cam needs to go to a team. If he's to be traded, he needs to go to a team like Detroit, where the man can play
Or Houston.
a full game and get the allotted amount of time to cook up and be effective. That my issue with Cam is, and hopefully, like, I hope he can go the path that like Sumner is going, where Sumner is learning how to be effective right away, immediately in the lineup when he comes in those role players, like even like Yuta, like other players that are coming in for a small amount of time, then they're effective in that small amount of time. The question is Cam going to get into that position for this team where that, because we know he's not going to get 30 minutes a game to play. Like, he's just not going to, the way our setup is. So it's like, I don't think you should sell low on him. I think you should sell high on him to, like Lou Bucks Elite said, like the Spurs, Detroit. Like, if you're going to make a trade and try to pull away like a really good guy on one of those teams that's going to help us, whether it's Jakob Poeltl or whether it's Sadiq Bey or somebody like random like that, like not random, but somebody like that, like, you got to sell high on him to those teams. But if you try to include him in like some of these other teams, I think you wind up selling low on him then. But I think the only reason we know that Jared Allen got traded was because Dinwiddie was hurt. I think if Dinwiddie wasn't hurt when that trade went down, you might have seen Jared Allen kept. Who knows? But
Saint, and I think we got to throw this question out there. Even on the tanking teams, a lot of those tanking teams are capped off at the guard position. So what team can Cam really go where he's going to get that 30, 25, 30 minutes a game where he can...
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he goes to Detroit, bro.
But
they would take him because they just lost. I mean, they just lost Cade for the year. They probably take him. They would.
But even as off the bench, he can get in over Killian.
I think if he goes to a Spurs or a Detroit, where he, even if, like you said, he's coming off the bench, he's still going to get a shit more time to play than he would here. And this is all if you're thinking about trading him. I'm just saying, otherwise, Cam's time may come next year or the year after where he gets more significant time. Like, keeping Cam could be a good thing for next year because you don't know how things are going to turn out, and maybe not. Maybe we still have a good squad next season, and he still, does he take a bigger leap into his third year? I mean, you have to wait and see. But Timo said, do you think Royce could be used in a trade for some of them? The only reason why I say no is because that would mean that Sean Marks would have to admit he fucked up by giving a first-round pick for Royce. Yeah. Just like I don't think he would trade for Kuz, because then that would mean he fucked up before when he could have had him for Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah. He would be putting out like, we traded a first for Royce just to trade him away for next season.
That would be fair. Yeah, that would be bad, bro.
Same thing with Kuzma. You traded all this for Kuzma when we could have just got him.
But I don't think his ego would let that happen, right?
Yeah, I think he's too much of ego. Honestly, I don't even think he's gonna. I'm at this point where I don't even think he's gonna make any trades. Like, you see how we're winning right now, or like I don't know, man. But hey, Scoop, we got a little word from Scoop, man. He got something up his sleeve. So
I hope Scoop's not trolling, doing some 48 shit.
I mean,
because Scoop was right about a lot of shit this offseason.
This summer, Scoop was on point this summer. He was A+ this summer.
Exactly. And this question's for you, AJ. What about happened to that 7-footer that we got in the Dinwiddie? We also picked up it. He's still.
You talking about Nikola Milutinov?
He's still playing, but I don't know if he got hurt or didn't want to come over yet.
We have his rights, we have his rights, but we don't. He's not coming over anytime soon.
Yeah. One more. What about Mo Bamba?
If we get Mamba, do you think there's a chance we can get Gary Harris and John Isaac? No. I don't think
No.
we can get all of them.
Once again,
Yeah.
you guys complain about Kyrie Irving being outspoken, and then turn around and on Jonathan Isaac.
And here's a funny one. I don't know if this is true or not, bro. What do you think about trading for Mike Cox-Long of the Spurs? Is that a legit player?
Hey, yo.
Is that a legit player?
Man. No, it's not.
I'm gonna check it because
Wait,
I knew what I was doing.
Mike Cox-Long? Pause.
I knew what I was doing, dude. Hey, do you want me to show
crazy.
you when I pull up images for Mike Cox-Long?
Hey,
I'd rather not.
Bro,
he's told I have to be
I
the
gotta
biggest
show
troll.
you this.
No, that's
Bro,
not-
I gotta show you this. I got to.
That's a troll comment. Nicholas is trolling. There's no way.
I know what I was doing. Come on, bro. I gotta end this on a funny note. But here's the things that when I pulled up.
Wait, what?
The fuck is
I don't know what that is.
What is that in a?
I don't know, bro.
Yo, you won, Nicholas. You won the troll comment of the year. Because we actually took it serious too. We were like,
I knew it was, dude. I knew it was a troll, but I was like, "Fuck it, let's find out." But when I typed in, you want to laugh? Go Google that name and look up images. And I don't know what that.
nah.
I don't know what that was, bro.
You know what tricked me? Because the way he spelled it, made it look like it might have been a.
But dude,
spelled it
because
like it
the
was
only
a real
reason
last
why
name,
for a
bro.
second I thought about it and I'm like, no, this is a joke was because there's another player that came into the league and he's got his name is like Cock Hurts or some shit like that. It's
What?
like something, yeah,
Oh
it's
my
something
God,
ridiculous, bro. He's got it. It's worse than K Cock's name, bro. Exactly.
We got it. Yo, that's crazy. I can't believe we got trolled with that question though. That's hilarious.
No, I kind
Oh.
of set us up, bro. I kind of knew what I was doing.
All right, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We'll be back. Wait, what? The next game?
Cypher wants Ho You Fat.
Oh, you fat.
Oh no, is that his name? I swear to
Yeah.
God, is this his name? Kofi Cockburn. I think
Oh,
this is the
yeah,
guy.
there is. Yeah, he is a real player. Yeah, he is.
That's
he was
I
in the
told
draft.
you. I told you there was a name that was like
You can't even
told
make that
you,
up,
bro.
Yo, how is that a real name, yo?
Yeah. His name he played for Illinois. He's Jamaican professional basketball player.
You play the Raptors again on Friday? Oh god. How many times are we gonna play the Raptors, yo? Yeah, so next game was Friday.
We
against
keep
the Raptors.
beating them. That's all I care about.
Yeah, we played the Raptors again.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button. We're on Instagram, Nets Kingdom 711_. Also on Twitter. All our Twitters are at the bottom. Saint Net 1, Nets Kingdom, AJ Chubbs Nets. TikTok. We have TikTok. Go on TikTok. Rage is going crazy with the edits. If you want crazy video edits of the Nets, TikTok, Nets Kingdom _. And then SoundCloud, Nets Kingdom Radio. If you're driving, you need any tunes, mixes, your favorite R&B mixes or rap, reggae, all that, Next Kingdom Radio on SoundCloud.
Hey Israel, one of these days we'll do a
Israel said I love the longer streams. Wow, people.
No,
I
I
don't know,
mean,
man.
I think it depends on the game, and depends on what day of the week it is. Like we've been doing shorter streams too to help with
YouTube algorithm.
Get the YouTube algorithm.
If you guys want us to do longer streams, we got to get bigger amount of likes. That's the only thing, because YouTube, the way YouTube algorithm is, it's only going to push short content. But
yeah, if
we have a lot of likes, like if we have 200 plus likes every stream, then our stream will be pushed, and then we'll, what I'm saying.
I feel like some of y'all need to make accounts or sign into your YouTube account so you can hit the like button. Because I know it requires you to do that. Some people just click on the stream and they don't. I don't know if you can like, but I'm not. But yeah, we'll do them.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man.
Appreciate y'all.
We'll be back.
When's the next game? Next game's Friday. We're off all the way till Friday. Who are we playing?
The Raptors.
The Raptors. All right.
Yes, sir.
right.
All right.
Energy and the juice.